Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to a series on my channel called 5-Minute Book Talk, in which I take roughly 5 minutes to talk about a book that I have read while I flip through the book. In this video, I'm going to talk about Leave the World Behind by Rumaan, which already has a movie adaptation up on Netflix. And I must admit, I started watching that movie already, but I could not finish watching because I felt that it was so dragging. And then I saw a friend post a similar opinion on her social media, and then another friend commented that the movie was based on a book. Of course, I had to get the book, and I did, and I read it, and here we are. Warning, this video will have spoilers. Right off the bat, let me say that if you watched the movie and you found it dragging, you will most likely find this book dragging as well. But there is a reason for it, because I continued reading and I gave this book a chance. The story was told in a very inward way. Amanda works in advertising, and her husband Clay is a professor at a university, and they had 2 young children, Rose and Archie. They were living in the city of New York, and Amanda had gotten fed up with urban life and decided to haul her entire family off to a more remote place, still within the same state but in a different county, so she rented an Airbnb for the long weekend. And everything that happens in that Airbnb, which is gorgeous. The area is calm and quiet, and the house itself is large and comfortable and very modern, with its own pool and hot tub. And so all 4 of them, Amanda, Clay, Archie, and Rose, are just chilling in the house when 2 black characters, GH and his wife Ruth, come knocking on the first night, asking to come in because there was a blackout in New York City and the elevator to their condo on the 14th floor of a high-rise was not working. And so they were old people. They could not take the stairs up 14 floors. So they were wondering if they can spend the night in their own home, this house that Amanda was renting for her family. As recompense, GH offered to refund them part of the rental money that they paid. Amanda was suspicious, but Clay let them in partly because he wanted the refund money, and the 4 adults talked in the kitchen and kind of tried to work their way around each other, tried to figure each other out. GH and Ruth did give Amanda and Clay proof that they owned the house, and eventually both Amanda and Clay finally decided in private that they should just let GH and Ruth stay. The house had power and electricity and running water, but they were disconnected from the internet, which in this day and age is a very unsettling form of isolation. We can stand being alone, but we cannot stand being without internet access. So everything that happens in the book unfolds for about the next 2 to 3 days. Strange things happen, like Clay goes out to the grocery store and gets lost for almost an hour. Rose sees a massive herd of deers through the woods behind the house, like in a mass migration. And there were also flamingos later that night in the pool. Also, Archie gets bitten by a tick, and they hear a very loud sound. And then later that day, Archie gets sick and his teeth fall out. And then Rose disappears and no one could find her. But later on, we see Rose alone in the woods, and she found a large house that had no one in it, but she managed to get in, and she tried out their TV and Wi-Fi and could find no link to the outside world. So she decides to take whatever supplies she could get from that house and bring it to the Airbnb. She also found a box set of the DVD of Friends, the TV show, and played that on the TV. She's a fan of the series. She could not stream it on account of having no internet, but in this house that she found in the woods, she managed to watch an episode or 2, and that's where the story ends in the novel. No one dies, no one is hurt, except for Archie, who is obviously sick. There was no explanation to be found for the strange events, so everyone had to make do with their own thoughts and each other. This is a different kind of apocalypse in which the desolation is inwards because the outer world looks fine and there are no riots, no murders, no deaths. But everyone is afraid and unsettled and confused and, in the case of Archie, sick, and there are no answers to be had. And this is why the story had to be told in a very inward way. That is why at first it seems dragging, because somewhere in the in the third part of the book, we get the reason why. It is the apocalypse of the self. Surely something is going on also in the outside world, but because of that, the self, without access to answers, starts to deteriorate as well, which kind of makes me think, how much of the outside world do we need to validate the logic behind our own personal individual existence? That is my major takeaway from the book. It is quite good. I recommend it for Christmas Day, which will add irony to your reading experience.